Sexy. The last few weeks have been filled with irritation after the Xbox One announcement and then Microsoft's attempt to control what customers do with the products they buy. These folks were trying to find new ways to get more money out of its customers, like Jennifer Aniston has been looking for a husband over the last decade. It didn't help that key executives gave interviews and then they went to various news outlets but didn't really have an idea of what they wanted to say, so this resulted in people giving different information to different sources and then people just getting confused altogether. But alas, it's been confirmed this week that Microsoft has stepped back on their restrictions involving the Xbox One. Don Mattrick released a statement that said, "An internet connection will not be required to play offline Xbox One games. After a one-time system setup with a new Xbox One, you can play any disc-based game without ever connecting online again. There is no 24-hour connection requirement, and you can take your Xbox One anywhere you want and play your games just like on an Xbox 360. Trade in, lend, resell, gift, and rent disc-based games, and it will work just as it does today on Xbox 360. Well, hallelujah! I felt a sense of accomplishment because I was part of that crowd that stood up and said no to something I didn't want to participate in as a customer. It's my money until I exchange it for a game or a console, and Microsoft's arrogance after the last few months astounded me to a point where I had to keep a tight grip on my wallet. And it didn't help Microsoft any that Sony went to E3 a few weeks ago looking for blood. I mean, the announcement of the PS4 support for used games made gamers extremely happy, and they protested even more about the fact that the Xbox One didn't in the first place. And that's when I realized it. The fan outcry didn't really do anything. Microsoft was dead set on their anti-consumer policies regardless of what the customer said. And there would be the fanboys and the hardcore gamers that would buy the console, and Microsoft could then use those numbers as a way to justify their restrictions since so many people bought the Xbox One, right? As Adam Orth said a few months ago before he was immediately canned from Microsoft, we were just going to have to deal with it. I'm of the opinion that something scared the fat cats so much that they changed their tune immediately, at least for the moment. Microsoft still reserves the rights to change anything they want at any moment, and so does Sony for that matter. Hell, Nintendo does too. But the point is that when a loss of cash was involved, they had to act to save as much bacon as they could. I mean, in the end, it's all about money, and it all comes down to how much they stand to lose. Again, I was happy to see that the DRM restrictions were being lifted until I saw what was also being taken away. Family sharing will not be available at launch, unfortunately. This feature would have allowed you to share your digital copies of a game with your family members. It would have also allowed you to download your digital collection to another console for a time. Again, it's very clear that Microsoft was going full steam ahead with this DRM stuff and they hadn't planned on anything else. This also tells me that the industry has yet to learn to take responsibility for anything. You mean to tell me that the DRM restrictions are so intertwined with the family sharing stuff that they couldn't be separated? It's clear that companies want to control how you play at some point in the future, so why not make it attractive to customers? Have restrictions on the digital side of things, sure, but come up with something that will make people want to buy digital despite those restrictions. Perhaps the digital copy of the game can be cheaper than its physical counterpart. I'm just throwing out ideas here, but I know what I'm going to see in the next few weeks. There will be articles, blog posts, and videos about how Microsoft's decision is the fault of whiners and arguments that end with, "See, this is why we can't have nice things." What you guys should realize is that it's not your fault for knowing what you want, and it's not your fault that family sharing is gone. It's Microsoft's fault, plain and simple. They chose to put all the red tape around their console, they chose to take out the family sharing, and they chose to let Don Mattrick come out and disrespect everyone who doesn't have the financial means to afford an internet connection, those who don't want the Kinect peripheral, and those in the armed forces in general. Everything they did up to this point was a choice by a person or a group. No one forced them into anything. No one was telling them to, you have to do this or else. No one was holding a gun to their head, so don't let them tell you anything different. And here comes the thing that I'm really curious about. With Microsoft doing away with its restrictions on the Xbox One, does this change how you view the console? Will you be buying a PS4 as well as an Xbox One now? Were you driven away towards the PS4, but now you're going back to the Xbox One? Do you not care about either? Either way, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, my name is Vernon. I hope you enjoyed getting to it. Much love to you all, and I'll see you next time. holdtheline.com.